I'm not going to spend too much time on this front page. You guys can go ahead and plot that. What you're going to see when we start doing this unit is that you're going to be using the same price here. Let me move that up a little bit for each one of these. So here's your quantity demanded, and here's your quantity supplied, and here's your price. So remember, we've got price going up and down here, and these are your quantities. So at 10 cents, your quantity demanded is going to be 50. So you're just going to go up to 10 cents, and then you're going to go over and plot a point at 50. At 20 cents, we're going to come over and plot a point at 40 cents. Then at 30 cents, we're going to plot a point at 30. And then just like that, and then you're going to connect your dots, and that is going to be, it's downward sloping, it's your demand curve. And remember, our supply curve is going to be upward sloping, so what we're going to see as the price goes up, that our quantity is going to go up. And I just said I wasn't going to work this out with you, but here I am. So at 10 cents, I don't want to supply very much, but people want a lot at a low price. At 20 cents, we'll make 20 available for sale. But once again, at that lower price, make my dot bigger, our quantity demanded is going to be bigger. This is the point that's crucial right here. What you need to understand is that at 30 cents, the quantity demanded and the quantity supplied is exactly the same. So they are willing to supply the exact number that people are willing to purchase. And then as the price continues to go up, quantity demanded is going to go down, but what we're going to see here is the quantity supplied is going to go up. They're willing and able to make more available for sale. So we have a situation where here's our supply curve, here's our demand curve. This is the all-important point where the price wants to be. And in a free market, if the government is left alone, the invisible hand, through people pursuing their own self-interest and competition, buyers will compete to push the price up. Sellers will compete to push the price down. If the price is too high, it will end up here. If it's too low, it will work its way up there. And then we have what's called the market clearing price, or the equilibrium price. So the equilibrium price is 30. The equilibrium quantity, at that price, the market is cleared. And this works as long as a free market is able to work itself out. This next page, once again, we're going to graph it. I'm not going to graph the whole entire thing. If you need to practice graphing, you're going to have to do that on the test. That's not a problem. So transfer the information, create your demand curve, create your supply curve. Don't just draw them. Make sure that you're plotting the points and connecting the dots. So how does the information on the demand schedule and the demand curve illustrate the law of demand? And once again, the law of demand says that as the price goes up, our quantity demanded goes down. Do not forget, we're not changing demand when we change the price. And so if we look over here at 2 cents, we want a lot. As the price continues to go up, the quantities are going down. We don't want to pay 10 cents, we want to pay 2 cents. But the information on the supply schedule says the exact opposite things. They don't want to supply very much at the lower price, but their opportunity cost of supplying more, it makes a lot more sense to them to, as when the price goes up, offer more available for sale. So the law of supply says that as price goes up, as a supplier, my quantity supplied is going to go up. Change in price still does not change supply or demand. It changes quantity demanded and quantity supplied. So don't forget those principles, because those are not going away. Why will the pencils sell for 7 cents each? Because at 7 cents, my quantity demanded is 600, and the quantity supplied is also 600. So at that price, that's the amount that they're willing to supply. That's the amount that we are willing to purchase. And so that is what's called the equilibrium price. It's the market clearing price. Both suppliers and demanders are happy at that point. Explain why at a price of 10 cents per pencil a surplus will develop. We haven't talked about surpluses yet. This is kind of like a little preview. But what you can see at 10 cents, quantity demanded is equal to 300. Quantity supplied is equal to 900. So they're willing to supply 900. We only want 300. So that will create a surplus of 600. They are willing to produce 600 more than we want. And then if we go up to the 2 cents, and once again, the next video, so this is kind of a little preview. And if you get this, the next unit, or the 7.2 is a piece of cake, because that's all this is. So at 2 cents, quantity demand is equal to 1100. Our quantity supplied is equal to 100. So we want 1100 at that price, but at that price they're only willing to make available for sale 100. So what we have is a shortage. We are short 1,000. We'll take the 1100, subtract the amount that they're willing to purchase, or excuse me, willing to supply, and we end up with 1,000 fewer than what we want at that particular price. Right here we have another graph, a supply and demand graph. You should be able to work through this. All you're going to do is look at what the quantity of corn would be supplied at each price. The trick here is making sure that you're looking at the correct curve. So when we're looking at this, look at this curve. So at $1, come over to the supply curve, and the quantity supplied is 100. At $1.50, coming over still to the supply curve, it's 300. And then at $2, our quantity supplied is 500. Why would a greater amount of corn be made available if the price were $2 per dozen instead of $1 per dozen? And those are the reasons why the supply curve is upward sloping. There's a profit motive. More firms are going to enter if the price goes up. And the only way that they will make more available for sale at a higher price is if they can, or excuse me, the only way they will make more available for sale to cover all their costs is if they can increase the price of it. Then you're going to do your quantity demanded down here. So this time you're going to look and go to the demand curve. So make sure you're hitting the right curve. So at $1, our quantity demanded is 400. Our quantity demanded at 150 is 300. And at $2, our quantity demanded is, let me see, yeah, $2, 200. So as the price goes up, our quantity demanded goes down. As the price goes up here, quantity supplied goes up. So why would households demand a lower quantity of corn if the price were $2 per dozen? And we've got those same reasons. There's the substitute effect, the income effect, and the law of diminishing marginal or utility. So we've done those before. Suppose roadside stands charge $2 per dozen. Would this result in a surplus and a shortage? And this should be easy. If it's not, there's a whole entire video that you need to do. If this is a piece of cake and you understand this, the next video you really don't need to do anything. You could almost skip to the quiz for that. So at $2 a dozen, if we go up here and look at this at $2, our quantity demanded, it's where it hits our demand curve, quantity demanded is 200, but at $2 our quantity supplied is 500. So they're willing to supply more at that price, and so that creates a surplus. And we could calculate it by taking the 500 that they are willing to supply at that price minus the 200 that we want, and that gives us a surplus, 300 more they're willing to supply than what we want. And at $1, we have the same thing. We have at $1, the quantity demanded will be 100. Actually, sorry about that. The quantity supplied is 100. The quantity demanded at $1 is 400. So they're short on that. We want 400. They're only willing to make 100. So there's a shortage of 300. So what is the equilibrium price and quantity? That is the point where the supply and demand curves cross. So at $1.50, the quantity demanded is 300 and the quantity supplied is 300. The market is cleared, and then we don't have the issues of surpluses and shortages.